Hello everyone, I have come with a new video. It's chapter number 2 from geography, and before that I have completed chapter number 1, and I have added this video in playlist. So let's start chapter number 2, forest and wildlife resources. Animals and plants on the verge of the extinction. Animals, cheetahs, pink-headed duck, mountain quail, forest spotted owlet, and plants, wild mahua, maduka in science. Seconds, Havardia, the pantheon, are species of grass. Next, flora and fauna classified by IUCN. So it's a normal species, the species whose population levels are considered to be normal for their survival. Endangered species which are in danger of the extinction, and because their population is declining. For example, black buck, Indian rhino, lion-tailed macaque, and Indian wild ass. Third, vulnerable species. There are species whose population has declined so much that they are likely to move into endangered category in the near future if negative factors continue to operate. For example, blue sheep, Asiatic elephant, Gangetic dolphin. Fourth, rare species which with a small population, if care is not taken, they may also become endangered species. For example, Himalayan brown bear, desert fox, wild Asiatic buffalo, hornbill. Fifth, endemic species which are only found in particular area, usually isolated by the natural or geographical barriers. For example, Andaman teal, Nicobar pigeon, Andaman wild pig, extinct species. There are the species which are not found after the searches of known or likely areas where they may occur. For example, the species which are the existing earlier but are not seen today. Although this chapter is lengthy, so we will cover these all portion which is necessary to command for those all important content. And now we will start from here. Next is Himalayan view. So the Himalayan U is in trouble. Himalayan U, the Tex Valley China is a medical plants found in the various parts of the Himachal Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh. A chemical compound called Taxol is extracted from the bark, needles, twigs, and roots of this tree, and it has been successfully used to treat some cancer. The drug is now the biggest selling anti-cancer drug in the world. The species is under great threat due to the overexploitation. In the last one decade, the thousands of few trees have died, but in various parts of Himachal Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh, various parts of Himachal Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh. Now next, Asiatic cheetah. Where has it gone? The fastest land mammals, the cheetah, and the vascular bonds is unique and a specialized number of the cat family and can move at the speed of 112 km per hour. The cheetah is often mistaken for a leopard. Its distinguishing marks are the long teardrops shaped lines, one each side of the nose from the corner of its eyes to its mouth. Prior to the 20th century, the cheetahs were widely distributed throughout Africa and Asia. Today, the Asian cheetah is nearly extinct due to the decline of available habitat and prey. The species was declared extinct in India long back in 1952. Now, next, provisions made by the Indian Wildlife Protection Act 19 1972 for protecting habitats. An all India list of the protected species was published. Second, the trust was on the protecting the remaining population of certain endangered species by a banning hunting, and second b giving equal protection of their habitats, and c restricting trade in wildlife. Next steps. Now I'm making it in frame, then we can be able to get properly from it here. Now next steps that have been taken to protect the wildlife in India. Under the Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972, an all India list of the protected species was published. The trust was on the protecting the remaining population of the certain endangered species by banning hunting, giving legal protection to their habitats, and restricting trade in wildlife. Sorry. Many wildlife sanctuaries have been developed, and national parks have been set up. Next, many projects have been started for the protecting the specific animals which were gravely threatened. For example, Project Tiger, one horned rhino, the Kashmir stag, Bengal, and three types of crocodiles, the freshwater, saltwater, and gharials, the Asiatic lion, etc. Most recently, some animals have been given full or the particle legal protection against the hunting and trading throughout India. For example, Indian elephant, black bug, great Indian bustard, and the snow leopard, etc. Next, setting up of the biosphere reserve for the conserving flora and fauna in their natural surroundings, and the protection of the wetland ecosystems is another step taken in this direction. Next, biodiversity denotes variety of of living beings, including all types of organisms. Plants and wildlife diverse in the form and functions, but closely integrated in a system through multiple network of the interdependencies. Next, now we can cover these all points in one frame from here. Independence now need for the conservation of the forest and wildlife in India. Conservation of the biodiversity is necessary because it preserves the ecological diversity. Forest and wildlife preserve our life support system, water, air, and soil. For example, the plants, animals, and microorganisms recreate the quality of the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the soil that produces our food, without which we cannot survive. Third, it also preserves the genetic diversity of the plants and animals for better growth and the breeding of species. For example, in agriculture, we are still dependent on tradition crops varieties. Fourth, fisheries too are the heavily dependent on the maintenance of aquatic biodiversity. Fifth, forests are the primary producers on which all other living beings depend, not only for food but indirectly for many other forest produces which are used to the varied purposes. Next, now conservation of the biodiversity at the community level. So, in that point wise, we can complete from here. In Sarika Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan villagers have fought against mining by the citing the Wildlife Protection Act. In many areas, villagers themselves are the protected habitats, and the explicitly strictly rejecting the sorry, rejecting government involvement. Next, the inhabitants of 5 villages in the Alwar district of Rajasthan have declared 1200 hectares of forest as the as the Bhairo Dev Dakro and Snatchery. declaring their onset of the rules and the regulations which do not allow hunting and are protecting the wildlife against the outside encroachments. Next, we will cover from here. Although when we you will read this chapter from NCERT, it's very lengthy, but here we are just covering those all important contents. But these contents are also very useful, and it's showing those all things clearly, which is necessary for examination. The famous Chipko movement in the Himalayas has successfully resisted deforestation and has also shown that the community afforestation with the indigenous species can be great success. Now next, Project Tiger. This is very important. You need to be more aware with this point. Project Tiger was one of the well-published wildlife campaigns in the world. Launched in 1973, initially it had shown an increase in tiger population till 1918, but in 1993 the tiger population dropped. There are 27 tigers reserves in India, covering an area of 37,761 square kilometer. Tiger conservation has been viewed not only as an effort to save the endangered species but with equal importance as a means of the preserving the biotypes of the seizable magnitude. Now, Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand, Sundarbans National Park, West Bengal, Bandhavgarh National Park, Madhya Pradesh, Sarika Wildlife Sanctuary, Rajasthan, Manas Tiger Reserves, Assam, and Periyar Tiger Reserve in Kerala are the some of the reserves in India. Now, types of forest. So, sorry. Now we will cover from here. Types of forest. So how many kinds of forest here? The forests in India are allowed and managed by the government through the forest department. They are classified under the following categories. So number one, reserved forest. They cover more than half of the total forest are areas. They are most valuable from the point of the view of the forest and wildlife conservation. Next, protected forest. Almost 1/3 of the total forest area is protected forest. These forests lands are these forest lands are the protected from any future depletion. Next, unclassed forest. Unclassed forests are the other forest and wasteland belonging to the both two areas with the high percentage of the unclassed forest. Two areas with a high percent of the unclassed forest are northeast states and parts of Gujarat. Now next is forest covered in India. The dimension of the deforestation in India are the staggering. The forest and tree covers in the country is estimated 79.42 million hectare, which is 24.16% of the total geographical area. Dense forest 12.2%, open forest 9.14%, and mangrove 0.14%. According to the state of the forest, the before 2015, the dense forest cover has increased by 3,775 square kilometer since 2013. However, yes, we are here now. However, this is the apparent increase in the forest cover is due to the conservation measures, management interventions, and plantation, etc., by different agencies. So now I'm making it in frame. Next is agency we have done. Now next, regions for the depletion of the forest covers. So deforestation for the agriculture purposes and shifting cultivation, which is still practiced in the substantial parts of the tribal belts. Third, large-scale development of river valleys projects. Fourth, mining activities have also resulted in deforestation. For example, the tiger reserve in West Bengal and seriously threatened by the ongoing dolomite mining. Fifth, environmental pollution and forest fires have also led to the depletion of forest. Next, dolomite mining in the Buxar Tiger Reserve on the ecosystem. Adverse effects of the dolomite mining in the Buxar Tiger Reserve. It has caused ecological damage. Second, it has blocked the migration route of several species. Third, it has disturbed the natural habitat of many species. Next, factors which have led to the decline in India's biodiversity: habitat destruction, overexploitation, third, environment pollution, fourth, forest fires, and fifth, hunting and poaching, and sixth, the poisoning. Now next, causes of environmental destruction, degradation is unequal access to the resources, unequitable consumption of resources, and third, different sharing of the responsibility for environment well-being, for environmental well-being, and fourth, overpopulation. Thus we have completed this chapter. Keep revision. I will come with new chapter.